Total Info, Sports. Total Info, News. Total info. Weather. Total info. Traffic. Total Info, Sports. Total Info, News. Total info. Weather. Total info. Traffic. Total Info, Sports. Total Info, News. Total info. Weather. Total info. Traffic. Total Info, Sports. Total Info, News. Total Info, weather.
And welcome to the Ferndale City Council meeting for Monday, August 14, 2017. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much. Marnie, would you call the roll, please?
Council members Leaks May.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Pollica.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Piana.
Here.
And Mayor Coulter.
Here, thank you. We have a quorum this evening. Next item of business would be the approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I actually, an amendment to the agenda, I ask that we add County Commissioner Helene Zach in the presentation, under Presentation C.
Right. We'll add her as C. Thank you. Any other discussion on the agenda?
Support.
All right, been moved and supported. Any discussion? Marnie, would you call the roll, please?
Council members Leaks May.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Pollica.
Yes.
Piana. Mayor Coulter.
Yes, thank you. The agenda is adopted. So moving on to presentations, and our first presentation is the Unit Commendation Awards, and Chief Collins and Captain Palazzolo are here to present those. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Your Honor. Your Honor and Council, we have three different awards we'd like to present this evening. The first one is for Officer Chris Wychick. Chris, this incident occurred on June 9th, 2017. Ferndale cars were dispatched to an address on Albany Street regarding a narcotics overdose. Upon arrival, officer discovered an unresponsive 25-year-old male in the backyard. He was unconscious and not breathing. Officer Wychick, assisted by other officers in performing chest compressions, and the result of Officer Wychick's quick actions and knowledge of first responder techniques, the man began breathing on his own and regained consciousness without the use of Narcan. So, this is a life-saving award for Officer Chris Wychick.
Great job, officer.
Next, I'd like to call forward Officer Lance Walker and Officer Amanda Szymanski. This incident occurred on June 23rd of this year at approximately 11:50 in the evening. Officer Szymanski and Officer Walker were dispatched to an unresponsive woman inside a parked vehicle on Pearson near Central. Upon their arrival, they found the woman was unconscious and not breathing. The officer removed the woman from her vehicle and administered first aid, including Narcan. The woman responded to the Narcan and regained consciousness. Their subsequent investigation revealed that the woman had overdosed on several different medications. Ferndale Fire arrived and transported the woman to William Beaumont Hospital for further treatment. Due to their quick actions, the opioid-related overdose death was avoided. These are also life-saving awards. Thanks.
Great.
Due to a few vacations, not everybody here that was receiving this award is present, but I'd like to call forward Lieutenant Emmy, Sergeant Andre, Officer Pierce, Officer Heath, and Dispatcher Fields. Officer Lemke could not be here tonight. Detective Goebel could not be here tonight, and Lieutenant Kenyon from the Madison Heights Police Department could not be here tonight, but we will also honor them. This incident occurred on July 21st, 2017, at about 11:30 in the morning. Dispatcher Field received a call from a woman who had stated that her husband was intending to kill himself at a residence on Leach Street. Sergeant Andre and Officer Lemke were dispatched to the residence. They found a suicidal suspect, a U.S. Navy veteran, in the attached garage and asked him to step outside. The subject retreated into the house and barricaded himself. He had a rope tied around his neck and was clearly armed with a large kitchen knife. Sergeant Andre relayed this information to dispatch. Detective Goebel, Officer Heath, Officer Pierce, and others were dispatched to the scene to assist. Lieutenant Emmy responded to the scene and assumed the role of incident commander. Sergeant Andre, Officer Lemke, Officer Pierce, Detective Goebel, and Lieutenant Kenyon from the Madison Heights Police Department and Lieutenant Emmy took positions in 2 response teams. Dispatcher Fields continued assisting with the intelligence gathering at dispatch. Officer Pierce performed admirably when he was thrust into the position of negotiator. He quickly developed a rapport with the subject based on their prior military experience. A team comprised of Sergeant Andre, Officer Pierce, and Officer Lemke provided the subject with cigarettes through a kitchen window after the subject removed the screen. Sergeant Andre's team, with the addition of Lieutenant Kenyon, opened a garage door to gain a tactical advantage. Another team, comprised of Officer Lemke, Detective Goebel, and Lieutenant Emmy, opened the front door of the residence with the key provided by the wife. The subject became very agitated and started screaming at Lieutenant Emmy's team not to enter the house while threatening the officers with a knife. Sergeant Andre's team recognized a window of opportunity to end the standoff while the subject was engaged with Lieutenant Emmy's team. Sergeant Andre's team requested that Lieutenant Emmy's team continue to distract the subject while they moved into a position to deploy a taser through the open kitchen window. While standing on a chair under the kitchen window, Lieutenant Kenyon effectively deployed his taser at the suicidal subject. The subject fell to the ground and dropped the knife. Lieutenant Emmy's team, along with Officer Heath, quickly moved in and placed the subject into protective custody, and he was subsequently transported to an area hospital for psychological evaluation. During this 2-hour standoff, these officers acted professionally, exhibited compassion and restraint, and worked together as a cohesive unit to safely resolve this very dangerous situation. Each one is receiving the unit commendation.
Great work, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Our next presentation is an introduction to the city's new website, and Kara, our Communications and Community Engagement Officer, will introduce that.
Hello. I won't get a life-saving award for this, but I'm still really happy to present it. We should have done a drum roll, or I thought about bringing like a little green and white pom-pom or something, but I'm thrilled to announce that we have officially launched the city's new website, same URL, www.ferndalemI.gov. This is it was already a planned, I think, 5-year, Joe, am I saying that right? Yes, every 5 year to completely look at the content, look at the design, look at how functional it is for all of our audiences, and come up with a new game plan. So this site looks pretty different than what we've had in the past. It also looks different than what a lot of other communities use. And that's because it was made by a different kind of group. It was actually designed by Seamless Gov. It's the organization that we have used for a couple of years now to transform all of our flat forms and PDFs into digital online experiences. Residents can fill them out online, submit online, much more customer service friendly. So they've kind of long been considered the leaders in forms and form experiences, and then they decided to shift their focus to the face of government and started getting into municipal web design. When we heard that, we decided to research it, and we found that it was going to be the perfect fit for us. So This is it. I'm going to keep it kind of short and sweet. It's already been up for a few weeks, so many people have probably already engaged with it a little bit. I'm going to do a quick run through of some of the key pieces. This right here is our new homepage, and all the content that was here before that people have looked for is still here. It might just be in a different, hopefully more easy to locate place. The homepage is meant to be kind of a one-stop shop for all of the main pieces of information that people are looking for. So we've got important announcements here on the top. We've got a search bar. I'll do that later. We've got common requests. These are the things that when our people are answering the phones all day, every day, where are meeting minutes, where can I go to pay my water bill, pay my taxes, here they are. So we can send people right to the homepage and they can get the pieces that they need most. There was a lot of research by Seamless Gov put into this. They don't design this for us and they don't design it for an average public. They design it based on how our audience has been using our site for the past year, what they're clicking on, how often they're clicking on it, and where they're going to find it. So that's that. We also have a good little announcement spot here so that if we've got something of key importance, we can make sure it gets seen. We've got a great, clear news and event section now with our top news right up front. This is considered kind of a section that can change out. So in the summer, recreation is one of our most accessed topics. Perhaps in the fall, it'll be leaf pickup. In the winter, it'll be snow, and that can change out depending on the season. And then we've got a feature here where we have council's most important projects and initiatives that people can learn more about. And that is pretty much it. Last thing on the page here is our FAQ section, so people can hit the knowledge base and search for whatever they might be interested in. Couple more things. So the search, we are thrilled that we have a great functional search feature on this website. It's very rigorous. It searches just like Google. So if you were to put in, like we have, Mayor Coulter, we don't just get the main page with your name on it. We actually get information about performing marriage ceremonies. We get information about the mayor's business district. So that's great. That means that people who are here searching and don't know exactly what they're looking for, how to find it, are going to have a much easier time getting there. And then just to
I'm sure that'll be a popular feature.
our number one search.
Yeah, already blocked it.
And then along the top navigation here, I just want to point out services, which is where most of the information for residents and business owners is going to live. It's organized by tab. So if you're interested in anything, building, code enforcement, all of our parks and recreation, including a parks directory, all of the many things we offer for business, guides, inspections, again, code enforcement, police and fire under safety, and then common pieces that residents may be looking for, followed obviously by public works. That can all be found under services. The only other kind of key information not found under services is city council and elections, and that's under government. And then finally, we have this pay and apply page, which puts all of our most common transactions, anything people might need to access, in order of how frequently they're hitting that.
That's awesome.
So, and then we have a full directory for all staff. So that's just kind of a quick once-over of the site. I wanted to kind of let everybody know what they can find on there. Obviously, if anybody's interested in seeing the site in very close detail, I'd be happy to meet with them and do that. There are still glitches here and there. There's also still areas you might find information that isn't fully fleshed out. And if that's the case, I invite people to contact me by email at ksokol, SOKOL, at ferndalemi.gov, and I would be happy to make sure that we get that fixed up. In the meantime, are there any questions?
Is there a feedback section so in case they can figure out how to spell your name, they can just click on it and...
Yes, actually throughout the website. So on our council page, there's a place where we can contact any of the council members.
Oh.
On every department page, there is a feedback form on those pages. So it will go not only right to that department, but also to the website admins so that we can ensure that it's being addressed.
Nice.
When do you expect it to go live?
It's live.
Oh, it's live now?
It's live. Yep, it's up there. Everybody can use it. And it's actually been live for 3 weeks. It's considered a soft launch, so we could work out some of the kinks. But it's up and going, and we're getting good feedback so far.
Excellent. Any other questions? It looks great, and
Great.
look forward to using it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Appreciate it. Excellent. All right. County Commissioner Helene Zach snuck in on us this
I
evening.
know.
And
Thank you for adding me
Always
to
good
the
to see you.
agenda.
Always
It's
good to
nice
see
to
you.
be here. So we are still working on our DNA lab for Oakland County, and it's almost totally live. This is a wonderful new county service. Historically, we have had to send all of our crime work to the state of Michigan, and there can be a lag up to 6 months to get information. So Oakland County has invested in this whole lab process. It is accredited. The one last piece of the puzzle is Oakland County still can't enter our numbers into the federal system. I'm told in a month or two that should happen, and I will let you know, but it's really a great service that our different courts and law enforcement can use. I see that there's a CDBG amendment. So the Oakland County is adding additional funding, excuse me, to a one-time funding in CDBG. And what's going to happen is instead of us using it in home repair funds, we are giving it back to the communities by formula. So I think it's about $30,000-$40,000 more dollars coming to Ferndale, and every penny counts, and you can use it. But at the same time, this is a one-time only. We don't know what the future of this funding will be.
right.
Next, Oakland County is going to be offering this VerTrack video training for public safety and opening it up to the local departments as well. We are purchasing new software, which is like virtual reality active shooting training, so that you are in the immediate practice area. And I do hope, have they offered it to you? And I think it's the state-of-the-art training, so I'm glad that Oakland County is doing it. There's also an interesting new thing coming through our public health department, which is mapping the opioid crisis. And thank you for all the public safety initiatives. It's wonderful, also awful that we have so many. So this mapping initiative is trying to plot it to look at strategy and how do we address it more systematically through our public health. We are very close to opening up our animal care center. And for animal activists, I'm really excited. I'm going on a tour in a couple weeks to see the new animal care center. We took a very archaic, funky, old building that was off-site next to a trustee camp, and we're going to sell that property, and we've built a new building which is part of the Oakland County complex, so that it's easier access. We have employees coming in and walking dogs, other volunteers, because it will be closer. So we're really excited about having this new facility, state-of-the-art. And it was a really hard advocacy issue to get better quality care for the animals. We also coming to the community, to the cities, villages, and townships. There will be free GIS system offered to all the communities starting in October, and hopefully you've gotten communication about it. So, and you'll be trained on how to use it more effectively. Finally, there is an initiative led by throughout the state to examine our public mental health system again. And there's two different representatives that are spearheading it, one of them being Clint Kesto, where they are doing a dog and pony show, and they are coming to Oakland County in 2 weeks, and I am going to be part of the presenting panel talking about some of the initiatives and also talking about some of the challenges for our community mental health and substance abuse system in Oakland County. That's it. Any questions?
Any questions of Commissioner Zak?
Thank you.
Appreciate the update. Thank you. Thanks. Good to see you. All right, that concludes our presentations this evening. We'll move on now to public hearings, and we have 4 public hearings scheduled this evening. The first one, oh, thank you. I skipped call to audience. Uh-oh, pardon me. Thank you very much. Yes, call to audience comes before a public hearing, and this is your opportunity, if you're here with us in person, to come and address council on any issue that you would like that's not on the agenda, because you'll get an opportunity to speak on that when we get to that part of the agenda. Yes, sir? So you can just kind of make your way to the podium, come on up, give us your name, your address, and 3 minutes is yours to speak on any issue that's not on the agenda. Good evening, sir.
I'm Earl Swartman. I live at 3341 Grayson. I've been a proud resident of Ferndale, I believe, for 54 years. I would not even begin to tell you that we've always agreed with everything you did, but we've got past the ones that we didn't agree with. But I come home the other day, and I was very pleasantly surprised to find that they were doing some work in the Harding Park just behind my house.
Yeah.
And that, frankly, scared me a little bit, because the first time I'd ever had a problem was when I moved in there 54 years ago, and I found out they were scheduling that for development of private homes in there. It obviously is not back to that. And I just wanted to tell you how happy that I am to see the job, and I really don't know who I should thank for this, so I'm going to thank all of you. I think you've done a wonderful job. I've walked on that area already out there. Well, I walked on the first day they had it open, and it was really wonderful, and I want to thank you all very much for considering something that will be beneficial to the members of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And it was installed by our DPW department, so they are to be commended for that. Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Matt Flynn. This is Adam O'Connor with Ultimate Fun Productions at 23315 Woodward Avenue. And we'd like to thank everybody for allowing us to bring Brews Barbecue and Bourbon into Ferndale earlier this summer. Things went well. There wasn't any issues with the police, with the fire. We worked well with the fire department as well as the police department. We did have a little bit of a cleanup issue with some grease, but we got with Michael and Rocky, and they pointed out where, and I hired a company to come in and repower wash all the sidewalks and the streets to get that cleaned up. But we wanted to come in and talk about some donations that we've given to some charities from that event. Some of them are here, some of them are not here. One was to $1,000 went to Community Health and Social Services. It's a group based out of inner city to help out the inner city in Detroit. We also gave $5,800 to CHAOS, which CHAOS stands for Children, Academics, and Sports. So it's a group, it's an organization that's all throughout the county. There's members that are from here, from Ferndale, and all over, but their basic goal is to either keep kids both in academics and sports to keep them out of trouble. Additionally, we gave, I don't have the big check, but the artist, Mint Artist, what's her name? I forget her name, but we gave them $1,000 to help out with their youth art program. We're waiting to get back with the Ferndale art to help. I guess they're looking for donations to help paint some electrical